Time to welcome the man that's seen a lot of this trade deadline talk in his years past, front office expert Jim Bowden tapping in on HQ. And Jim, we're just a few hours now before that deadline. Want to look at some of those teams that need to go all in as buyers or sellers, starting with the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, there's no doubt the Chicago Cubs have a couple of players that they plan on moving today. It starts with all-star catcher Wilson Contreras, who's a free agent at the end of the year, and also their closer, Dave Robertson. There are other players they're talking about, including their left fielder, Ian Happ. But one thing's for sure, they're trying to move all three of those players. Now, the reason the timing has been hung up for them is the San Diego Padres are waiting to see if they're going to be able to land Juan Soto from Washington in a trade. If they don't get Soto and Soto ends up going to the Dodgers or Cardinals, then the Padres are the front runners to land Wilson Contreras and Robertson from the Cubs. Now, if in fact that doesn't work out, the Mets are still lurking, but there's a big difference of opinion of what Contreras and Robertson are worth on the trade market compared to what the Mets are willing to do and what the Cubs want in return. But one thing we do know on this trade deadline day, the Chicago Cubs will be a part of it and will be an important seller today.
The Cubs are sellers here. How about the Nationals? We know about Juan Soto, but he might not be the only one leaving D.C. there when it comes to that Nats team.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Brandon, that Josh Bell is going to probably get moved as well, although he lost a couple of spots yesterday where he could have gone. He had been linked to the Houston Astros as the leaders, but they ended up pivoting and trading for Trey Mancini instead. But the switch-hitting Bell is expected to be moved along with Soto. We've also heard the Nats are trying to move Nelson Cruz, as well as a couple of their relief pitchers as well. But, you know, the big focus today for Washington, of course, right now, and all their concentration is trying to find the best deal they can for Juan Soto.
You mentioned there, of course, how about the all-in buyers for Juan Soto? Because we're expecting a package that we've never seen for a guy that's 23 years old, and we know what he's done already over his career. What about those all-in buyers for the young star here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think over the weekend, I think the Padres and the Cardinals were kind of in the lead going back and forth. They have different packages they're offering. The Padres can offer more higher upside prospects and better prospects, but the Cardinals can offer 2 or 3 major league players that could help Washington immediately. But the Los Angeles Dodgers started to make a strong move on late Sunday and on Monday. They've gotten themselves right in the middle of this thing right now. And as we head towards that 6 o'clock deadline tonight, all 3 teams are kind of in a heat right now. And I think it really depends on what team wants them the most. What team today is willing to put in that one major leaguer or that one prospect that they really don't want to put in. Someone's going to have to overpay and somehow separate themselves. Right now, the Dodgers, Padres, and Cardinals haven't done that. We'll see who steps up today, because whoever does probably lands the player by 6 o'clock.
All right. What about the Mets and Phillies? Where they sit, buyers or sellers here?
Yeah, they're both buying. The Phillies are working really hard to get a starting pitcher, and as of this hour, Tyler Mahle has become their #1 trade target. Dave Dombrowski, the president, has had a lot of conversations with Cincinnati Reds GM Nick Krall, trying to make that work. On the back burner, he's had a lot of conversations about Noah Syndergaard with the Los Angeles Angels, who are expected to move him. The Minnesota Twins, however, are also giving the Phillies competition because they are also both in on Mahle and Syndergaard, at least as of this hour.
And then finally for you, Toronto Blue Jays, are they buyers here the closer we get to 6 p.m.?
I think there's a lot of pressure on them, Brandon, right? They haven't done anything. And, you know, they're in a position where they're going to probably be one of the wild card teams. You know, they're not going to be able to catch the Yankees, but they're going to get to the postseason. And they have huge holes in that bullpen. I mean, that's a real weakness. It's like kryptonite was to Superman, right? And I am really surprised that Mark Shapiro, the president, and Ross Atkins, the GM, haven't done anything to date. So I'm expecting them to get not just 1, but 2 relievers today. And I believe they're on the clock. I think right now there's as much pressure on Toronto as any of the American League general managers right now to try to improve their team.
Jim, I'm curious because you've been in this position before, running the phones and calling teams back in every other day, hour on top of the hour, not getting any sleep. Is there maybe a surprise move that we might not see today, or maybe not see Soto dealt, or maybe Ohtani will get dealt? Something out there that might shock you?
I mean, what I love about the trade deadline is every year something surprises us or shocks us at the last minute. I will say this. It would shock me if Soto didn't get traded. It would shock me if Ohtani did get traded. But I do think there'll be that one deal today somewhere by someone where we're going to raise our eyebrows and go, where did that come from? There always is every year, and that's what makes the deadline so fun.
All right, Jim Bowden, as always. You're not getting any more sleep until 6, and maybe not even after that, my friend. So, of course, keep it tapped here at HQ, as always, with everything. The closer we get to that 6 p.m. deadline. Oh, but wait, we got games right after that later today. You got the Mariners-Yankees at 7:05. Then you want to circle the Mets there, taking on the Nats, not because of Juan Soto, but Jacob deGrom making his 2022 debut. Of course, his first game of the season, dealt with that shoulder injury back in training camp. 7:10 Eastern time, and then later on tonight you got the Dodgers and Giants at 9:45 there, going off in San Francisco.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.